What's going on, everybody? It's Game Unboxing Reviews here, and welcome back to another LEGO Dimensions news update. Now in this video I'm of course going to be talking about the brand new trailer for LEGO Dimensions, which shows off the hub worlds. And here's the thing about this game, it was already looking great. It really was. All these combinations with the characters, all the Doctor Who stuff, the Back to the Future, Ghostbusters, it all looked great. But now that they've revealed that there's 14 hub worlds in the game and they are massive, it's unbelievable. I mean, this game is blowing my mind. So, without further ado, let's get to it. Alright, so with this video I want to get a good amount of detail and I want to talk about it and tell you everything I think about all these hubs, but I also don't want to make it too long so it's unbearable. So I'm only going to be talking about hubs. Everything else, like Matt Smith doing the drunken giraffe dance, I'm just going to leave that because obviously you've probably already seen it and it is great, but I'm just going to leave that and talk about the hubs. So anyway, this is the first hub we are introduced to in the part of the trailer, and it's a very small look at it. We don't really get a very good look at the hub, and it is of course Lego Ninjago. Now what's cool is now that we know that these are hubs, if you cast your mind back to some of the old screenshots, you can get a look at some of the things you can expect to see. There's one I think of Jay from Lego Ninjago. I think he's in the volcano that you see down there or something like that, and you can go down there in the game, you can go to where the lava is and things, and that's really cool. So it just gives you a good example of what you can do in the game. And honestly, the hub worlds are absolutely massive. You see the water, you can go there. The grass, you can go there. The sky, you can go there. Everywhere you see in every hub world, you can go to. I mean, it's unreal. Even some of them have caves and everything. It's absolutely amazing. And the Lego Ninjago definitely looks cool. Not my favorite, but still looks cool. And I think Ninjago fans are definitely going to have a lot of fun with this one in particular. Alright, so next up of course we have Lego Chima, and this is probably one of the nicest looking hubs in the entire game. I mean, you can see the sun in the sky shining bright, it looks amazing. You can see the snow, the trees, the rocks, the grass, everything's just laid out so nicely, it looks great. And again, you can go in the water, you can go in the sky, you can go up there, it's completely up to you. I mean, it's huge. Now, one thing I wanted to mention about the hubs in this game is basically they say they're like keys, the characters are like keys. So for example, to go to the Legends of Chima, I would have to put down, let's say I want to go to Legends of Chima. I put down Laval on the toy pad, and then he basically acts like a key where I would be sent into Legends of Chima when I'm near the portal. But then once I'm in the Legends of Chima world, I don't have to have Laval with me anymore if I don't want to. I can take him off and just play as whoever I want. So they kind of act like keys to let you in, but nothing's stopping you from taking it off afterwards, which is great, and that makes perfect sense. And of course, what also means about that is if you just want a certain hub but you don't want to spend extra money on, say, a level pack or a team pack, you could get a fun pack with that character from that franchise and it would still unlock it. So for example, if you got the fun pack for Doctor Who, you would still unlock the Doctor Who world even though you didn't have the Doctor, which is great. And it's just going to add so much content to the game. And of course, I'll talk about the main game hubs soon once we get to that, but again, that already is pretty big. But yes, Legends of Chima looks great here, loving the hub world, and I can't wait to explore it. Now we move on to the Wizard of Oz. Now this is just a quick thing, I'm going to talk about the actual Wizard of Oz hub in a moment, but I think this is also another hub that you get in the game. So obviously this is a scene from the movie where the tornado strikes in Kansas, but look at where the studs are. Look, they're everywhere. You could literally walk around this whole environment with any character. I actually think that this is a secondary hub, and I'll talk about secondary hubs soon because it seems like they're all connected. If one hub has multiple areas and they don't look like they would fit in the same world, I think they still do. It's kind of complicated to talk about now because obviously we just got this trailer and that's all we can base it off until the game comes out, but it definitely seems like Kansas is going to be one of the hubs you can explore in the game, and that's great because having a hub with a tornado flying around, that just looks really cool. And whether there'll be quests in this one as well because they might get sucked up by the tornado, we'll have to see, but nonetheless this looks great. Alright, so now we're moving on to the Wizard of Oz hub world. I'm going to put a link in the description for you guys to check out a video which shows this place in free roam, and it just gives you an idea of how massive it is. I mean, this is one hub world. There's 14. There's 14 you can collect in total. I mean, that is absolutely unreal. Of course, you get free hub worlds with the main game, with the starter pack, and that is just great. But this one in particular looks so cool in that gameplay. You can see, the camera is third person. person, classic third person like the Lego games. It's not like Lego Batman 3 Beyond Gotham with its planets. When you see in this trailer, you know, the way it's laid out, it makes the planets look like it might be like that, but in gameplay, it's not. It really is. It's third person. It's, you know, it just looks great. It really does. You have to see it for yourself to believe it, but it's amazing. And there's people walking around, and there's, you know, flying monkeys and everything. It's just... It is Wizard of Oz. If you're a fan of the IP, you're going to love the hub world. I mean, you really are. And this is just one hub world. Again, there's so many more. There's more we don't even know about yet. Like, I have no idea what the Doctor Who one could be. Could be Trenzalore, could it be Gallifrey, could even be London. I mean, I have no idea, but I can't wait to see it. But yeah, this one in particular looks amazing. Now, next up, we have Middle-earth. Now, obviously, Middle-earth comes with the starter pack because you get Gandalf in the starter pack. So, basically, what you would do is you would go up to the portal for Middle-earth with Gandalf. Then, once you're inside Middle-earth, you'd be put down and you'd be playing as Gandalf in Middle-earth. So, let's say you wanted to change that. All you got to do is take him off the pad and then put down, say, the Doctor or Marty McFly or a character from Ninjago. Anything like that, that's how you do it. And I think that's really cool. I already talked about it, I know, but I just want to make that perfectly clear because I don't want people to be confused about how the whole hub worlds work. But anyway, the thing is with Lord of the Rings of me, I don't know a lot about this franchise. I like it, it's cool and all, don't get me wrong, but I'm not the most knowledgeable like most people. But I believe this hub world features locations such as Hobbiton, which I believe is the village for the hobbits, and then I think it's Rivendell as well, which has the elves. Again, I could be wrong, but that's basically all I know. But you know, in the shots that I'm showing here, it gives you a really nice look at this, you know, this hub world, and it looks great. This is again another really nice looking hub world. It's definitely one of them that takes advantage of the graphics, and overall just looks great. And I think it's really cool because, of course, if you remember from, I think it was Lego The Hobbit, there was a DLC pack that was planned, they said, for I think the third movie, but sadly it was cancelled, and I think a lot of people were very disappointed about that. But hopefully, you know, people who pick up Lego Dimensions and pick up, you know, Legolas or you know, anyone like that, they'll be enjoying this because they get a brand new adventure set around Middle-earth and everything, and it should be a lot of fun. And of course, you know, again, there's nothing stopping you from taking Gandalf and Legolas, etc. You know, there's nothing stopping you from taking them to, say, Hill Valley or whatever. You can do that. It's completely up to you. It's going to be awesome. So yeah, I think the Lord of the Rings content looks great in this game, and I can't wait to play through it all. Alright, so next up we're going to be talking about the DC Comics Hub. Now this one is very interesting, and the reason I say that is, first off, let's talk about the basics. So, judging by what you see in the trailer, it looks like this hub is more a combination between a mini Gotham City and a mini Metropolis, which is cool and all. I do like that. I think that's a nice combination. But the most interesting part to me is Atlantis. Atlantis is also part of this hub. So I was starting to think, how? How is it part of this hub? Like, what do you have to do? Is there a portal that takes you to Atlantis? Maybe like you go inside Wayne Tower, there's a portal there or something like that. Is there, you know, something at the end of the sea? I couldn't think of how it could work. But then I realized, what if it is just simple? What if you literally just go in the water, go under, and then there is Atlantis? I mean, the reason I didn't believe that at first is because it just sounded too cool to be true, you know? I mean, a lot of games now are using underwater so much, and it's great to see, but I just wasn't sure if Lego would do it, and I actually think they have. And the reason I say that is because if you look at the Simpsons level pack, you get Homer Simpson. Now, his car can actually change into a submarine. Now, obviously, a submarine is used to go underwater. So what would be the point in driving it when you're not underwater? It would make no sense. So I think you could use the submarine, go underwater, and then there will be Atlantis. Another thing that points towards this, points towards the evidence, is Aquaman. Now, if you look in the trailer, I've put a part in this where you see Aquaman just floating there. But here's the thing, in the trailer, you actually see him swimming. He's moving about. So when you're underwater in Atlantis, are you walking about or are you swimming, or can you do both? Can you swim towards the surface? That's what I'm starting to believe. And finally, when you look at Atlantis, you can see there's a massive rock above it, and that obviously has to be the city. So, to me, this is what I think. I think that not only do you get Gotham City and Metropolis combined into one, but if you know, dive underwater, you'll also have Atlantis to explore. You know, I could be totally wrong. You know, it might just be a loading screen to get there or something like that. But can you imagine if you can just go underwater and then go to Atlantis that freely? I mean, that would be amazing. I really hope I'm right, because that would just be so cool. And of course, you know, all these locations have races and quests and gold bricks to collect and everything. These hubs are massive, they're filled with things to do, and I'll be talking more about lots more stuff at the end of the video, because there's just so much cool stuff to talk about. It's crazy. Now then, we move on to the Lego Movie. Again, this is another pack that comes with the starter pack. I'm not sure if I mentioned with the previous one where I talked about DC Comics, but of course that one you get straight away. So you'll be able to go into Gotham City and Metropolis and all that straight away, because of course Batman comes with the starter pack and he is part of DC Comics. But with the starter pack as well, we also get Wild Style, which means all of the Lego Movie hub is open to us as well. And this one is very cool. You know, one thing I've got to say about the Lego Movie, I thoroughly enjoyed that game. I thought that game was really good. It was another great Lego game. One disappointment I have is the hubs. The hubs just, I didn't find them entertaining. I couldn't keep myself entertained when I was playing them. I'm not trying to be disrespectful to the game at all, because I really enjoyed my time with that game, but I just didn't find myself having fun after I'd beaten it. And this definitely seems like it's not going to be the same thing. I mean, the Old West is absolutely massive. There's these huge like castle areas. You've got Cloud Cuckoo Land, and if you cast your mind back to some of the older screenshots, there's also like mini version of Bricksburg or something like that. There's like buildings, and you can see, I think, Gale from the Lego Movie and everything. It's huge. It really is. Like, if you like the IP, like I was saying before about Wizard of Oz, if you like the IP, you're going to love this game. You really are. If you want to fly around the Old West as Benny, you can totally do that. It shows it in the, you know, in the trailer. We see Benny flying around castles and everything. It's amazing. It really is. I love it. I love it. I think this game is going to be amazing. I can't wait to explore everything. I just love how many hubs there is. You know, that's probably one of my favorite parts of the Lego games of the past few years is hubs. When they add the hubs, they're always big. They've got loads of stuff to do. They're really enjoyable. But the fact is, you have 14 in one game. It's hard to believe. I mean, it's amazing. Alright, so now we're moving on to probably my personal favourite hub out of all of them that have been revealed. Yes, it is of course Springfield from The Simpsons. This is amazing. You can see Homer's house, well of course the Simpsons household. You can see the nuclear power plant, the cemetery, the school, Flanders' house. You can see the Springfield sign at the top. I mean, it's absolutely massive. It's unreal how big this game looks. I mean, and again, this is one hub. One hub out of 14. It's unreal. And another thing to mention about this, it's not empty. You can see cars driving around and everything. One thing I find interesting about that is if you've played previous Lego games like Lego Marvel, you'll know that when a car is driving around, nothing's stopping you from going up to it and taking it. So I'm curious to see if I can play in the Simpsons world, or Simpsons hub, go up to a car and just take it. Because we can also see down where the Simpsons household is, we can see Homer's car. Now we get Homer's car in the level pack, but can we also just take his vehicle, like his larger version, the more larger version of the vehicle that you get in set, and just drive around in it? Personally, I think you might be able to, because here's the thing. With the mini version, that is exclusive to the level pack. So if somebody bought Bart, they would unlock this world anyway, but they would only be restricted to that car in that world. You couldn't take the large version into another world. But if you bought Homer, you could take the mini version of that car into any world. So I think we might see that, but you know, I could be wrong. And another thing to mention is the characters. So first off, we can see, well, this is what I think at least. If you zoom in carefully, you can see some of the characters that we can see walking around. The first one I noticed is Groundskeeper Willie, which is pretty cool to see just walking around. I think it would be nice to see maybe if he's at the school as well. You know, they might just wander around the entire city, but it's just cool to see classic characters walking the streets of Springfield. But if we zoom in even more, we can see even more characters. We can see Mr. Burns, we can see Flanders, we can see Abe, we can see Milhouse, and strangely enough, we can also see Krusty the Clown. And the reason I say that is because Krusty comes in one of the packs that you can get for the game, so it's interesting to see that we'll also have him walking around. No complaining or anything, it's still really cool, but it's interesting to see that we'll have him walking around. But guys, this is amazing. It really is. I think I'm going to spend hours in this hub alone. It just looks so cool. And it just makes me think, you know, they showed this part in the trailer. What if they turn the camera ever so slightly? There could be even more on the other side to the left. I mean, it's unreal. I can't wait for this game. It's going to be incredible. September the 29th. Can't get here any sooner. Now here we get a very quick look at the ScoobyDoo hub world, and there's not really much to say here except for the fact we can see the lighthouse. It's a very spooky atmosphere, all outlined and everything. It looks great. We can see the house as well from that mission that we see in the main story, which is also really cool. Now again, you know, Lego Dimensions, you know, you don't have to play with Shaggy and Scooby and drive around the Mystery Machine. You could play as the Doctor and drive around the Batmobile with ScoobyDoo. You know, you can do anything. It's completely up to you how you want to play this game, and that's just great. It's just nice to see that even Scooby-Doo's getting a hub world, because I was starting to think how are they going to do a hub world for Scooby-Doo, but they did it and it works perfectly and it looks great and I can't wait to explore it. Now here we get another quick look at another hub world, and it is of course Portal 2. Yes, Portal 2 is also getting a hub world. I mean, it's crazy, it really is. What game do you know that you can explore a free open area based on Portal 2? I mean, there isn't one. Obviously, you know, Portal is known for having pretty big environments in its missions and everything. They are pretty big, and, you know, you kind of need that with the Portal gun. But there's never been a game which gives you a whole open area to explore with side missions and races and things like that. It's going to be a blast. It really is. And of course, you know, it'll look even that much even cooler when you're using, say, Shell. And the great thing about this game is you can have from the least to 1 character, so you could just have Shell on screen and nothing else, and to the maximum 7. So you could bring in the whole Justice League that are available for the game if you wanted to. It's completely up to you. Sadly, this is the only part of the trailer that we see this, and there isn't anything more, but hey, it definitely gets you excited for the main game, because I believe the Portal pack comes out at launch. I could be wrong, but I think it does. So if you like Portal, then you'll be able to play with it day one, and that is going to be a lot of fun. Alright, so last but not least we have of course Hill Valley. Now this looks really cool. This hub world is great, and it's very different as well though, because when I first saw this hub world, you know, for the very first time when I started speculating on hubs, when we first saw some screenshots, I thought, okay, that is Hill Valley, and you could see the Old West in the background. I was starting to think maybe that is also available as well. Maybe you can also go to the Old West. But judging by what I see in this trailer, I actually think it's a combination between the past, the present, and the future. So it's all rolled into one, because you see the 3D shark, you see people that look like they're wearing, like, you know, old-fashioned clothes and things like that. You can see the Old West in the background, like I said. You can see the clock tower. So it definitely feels like a combination of everything. I mean, it looks great. It really does. And again, we see a car driving there. So can we go up to that car and just take it? I don't know, but I really hope you can, because it would just add to that freedom of the game, because this game has so much freedom, and if we can just take that car and just drive around with it, even though we don't have that in like a pack, that would be so cool. And of course there's a race there. Can we participate in that race with that car? We will just have to wait and see. Alright guys, so that's pretty much it for this video. I mean, LEGO Dimensions is seriously becoming a gift that just keeps on giving. And the reason I say that is because even upon announcement, you know, we had Back to the Future, we had LEGO Ninjago, DC Comics, Lord of the Rings, all that good stuff was great. And then as we went further through the year, we started to get even more announcements. We had LEGO Portal 2. I mean, that's unreal. Who would have thought Portal 2 would be ever part of a LEGO game? And then of course, you know, we got the announcement that Shell is back, and Wheatley, and Gladys. I mean, it's crazy. It really is. Who would have thought Batman and Gandalf would be interacting with Gladys? It's crazy. And then when we went further through the year again, we saw the Doctor Who announcement, which is just super cool. You get to play as all the 13 of the incarnations of the Doctor, plus the War Doctor. They all have their voices and everything. They all do special animations. You can go in all of their TARDISes. You can listen to all the music. I mean, it's crazy. And again, you know, you get a hub world for Doctor Who as well. You get a level pack. You get fun packs. It's unreal. And the last thing I wanted to mention before I ended the video, just to make it perfectly clear, every single franchise that is in LEGO Dimensions gets a hub world. So just to recap, DC Comics, The Lord of the Rings, the Lego Movie, Lego Ninjago, Back to the Future, The Wizard of Oz, Scooby-Doo, Lego Chima, Doctor Who, Jurassic World, Ghostbusters, The Simpsons, Portal, and Midway Arcade will all have a hub world in LEGO Dimensions. Speechless? Yeah, I bet. I mean, it's crazy. But anyway, guys, I'm going to let it go now because this has been amazing. I can't wait to finally play this game. I have another video coming out soon for LEGO Dimensions, which will probably talk even more about the hub worlds. But this game has blown my mind, and I just can't wait for it to finally come out. September the 29th, hurry up and get here already because it's going to be amazing. Alright guys, so I want to thank you very much for watching. Stay tuned for lots more videos real soon, and as always, please remember to like, comment, and subscribe.